My lovers, welcome to my channel. My name is Made for Love and welcome to another, our weekly karmic update. But although I don't think we did any last week. Did we do one last week? We probably did. I can't even remember, right? All right, so guys, let's get into today's reading. Now, before I get into the reading, I have a message for you, and I think it's also connected to this reading. That's why I'm probably getting it so strong. A person, I don't like things to fester and grow. I like to address things as they start and nip things in the bud, right? And what I want to say, I've been noticing a couple comments on the channel, and we're getting new people, right? Because remember, as you grow and evolve, you're going to be led to vibrate with me and to my channel. And then after a while, you're probably not going to resonate anymore. And then Spirit is going to lead you to another reader. But whoever you're led to, make sure, you rely on your own higher guidance. Remember, you're just watching me because you are trying to get confirmation, or trying to affirm some higher guidance that you've already gotten, right? You're not looking to me for guidance. You're just looking to me for resonance, all right? And sometimes we're not going to resonate because as I grow and evolve, I'm going to vibrate differently. And as you grow and evolve, you're going to vibrate differently. So you might be led by Spirit to unsub from my channel completely. And that's all. And that's all right. That's absolutely all right. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Okay? Moving on, growing. And then you know what? After you go, then we might resonate again and you come back. Whatever you want to do, it's all about freedom, right? So don't let anybody confine you to a particular box. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I've been noticing a couple comments down below that kind of border on intolerance. And my channel, the backbone of my channel, has always been inclusivity. Sometimes, when I'm channeling, I end up with a he and she kind of thing, right? But, I ask to excuse me because I'm kind of bound or impaired perhaps by my own experience, okay? So I ask you to be kind of lenient with me where that is concerned. But it's all about including everyone once they are walking in the light. So I don't care what your connection to the light is, whether it could be Jesus, the ancestors, Buddha, Allah, Shiva, higher mind, higher guidance. It could be an elemental. It doesn't matter to me once you're walking in the light, and it's nobody else's business either. So you don't have to defend your beliefs, especially your spiritual beliefs, to anyone. Neither do you have to defend who you love and how you decide to love to anyone. Not even me, especially not me. To anyone. Once, of course, that person is an adult and is consenting adults. Okay? So whether that person's from a different nationality, culture, race, religion, spiritual belief system, whether it's a same gender, different gender, they're in a male body, they're in a female body, their gender, they're non-binary, it's nobody's business. And you don't have to defend yourself to anyone. Spirit is going to lead you exactly where you need to be. And if it means listening to other readers, if it means subbing, then you do that. You go where your higher guidance leads you. If it leads you away from tarot, you go and do that. If it leads you back to tarot, you come back and watch tarot readings. Whatever you want to do, it's all about your freedom. It's your free will. And I think, the reason why I'm guided to deliver this message, I think this is exactly what's happening in the karmic connection, because we have been channeling two people in this karmic connection who have been growing and evolving. The karmic too, because I think for the past 3 weeks we've gotten some kind of healing card for the karmic, right? So both of them are growing and evolving. I think the issue that's happening here is that people outside of themselves, and that's both the karmic and the DM, people outside of themselves, the people who represent their ego, expect them to still remain in this box that no longer resonates with who they are and who they love. So their higher guidance is trying to lead them to a particular place, that place of total self-love. But those representing the ego around them and the things that represent the ego keep holding them back, keeping them in this little box. And they stay in this little box because they're afraid of they're afraid of could be each other's judgment, but they're afraid of other people's judgment. What are people going to think? Who am I going to be? I'm known in the community as that. What am I becoming? I mean, there's so many different things. So don't let anybody put you in a box. As you evolve and grow, you go where your higher guidance leads you. Okay? You can't stifle your soul growth for other people and what they think. Anyway. That is just what I want to say, okay? So, when you're commenting on other people's posts, I want you to keep that in mind, knowing that they have the freedom to live their life however they wish. Once they're loving themselves, and we can offer all little guidance and support, but at the end of the day, they have to listen to their higher guidance, because remember, there's no wrong turn. There will only be a lesson. All right? I have to take my own advice too, because I know I can be bossy. Right? I'm an elder sister. You know how it goes. You think you know what's best for everyone, right? So that's my lesson as well that I need to learn. But, listen to your higher guidance always. Nobody else. All right. So anyway, sorry about that, guys. Well, not sorry. Somebody needs to hear that, because this is what is going on right now. Okay. All right. So let us get a significator for the DM. And he gets patience. So he's practicing patience because he thinks that patience is going to be the key out of some sort of difficult situation he's going through. And we know it's difficult because it's a card number 23. And 23 reduces to 5. And the 5s are the cards of trial and tribulation and difficulty. But that's the 5s is where you're going to see the most soul growth, because after the 5 is a 6. And the 6 is a positive movement forward. But before you can get to that positive movement forward, you got to go through the fire, and that's what's happening right now. So he's recognizing that if he wants his wish to come true, and I'm seeing he, but please, excuse me, okay? Right? If they want their wish to come true, the DMs, because their bride is wishing well, they have to be patient. They can't rush, as we say in the Caribbean, they can't rush the brush right now. They got to take their time, okay? Okay, so that's the DM practicing patience. Let's see what the karmic is doing. I think we've been channeling a kind of slightly high vibrational karmic, I think. Well, someone who's healing as well. But someone who's also capable of deception. Because we saw that last time they were doing some kind of scheme. All right, so this karmic selling out. All right, so this is exactly what I was talking about and why I brought you that message today. So this is a card number 1. This is all about the magician. So the karmics, and I might say the karmic's higher guidance is leading the karmic in a particular direction. And that particular direction is to manifest a new beginning, right? Manifest a new beginning for themselves, something that's more stable, and something that's going to resonate with this, because this one looks like something that's going to resonate with who they are, the I am, right? To resonate with who they are becoming. But they're selling out that vision that Spirit has given them because they've already invested so much. I'm sorry, guys. So much. Okay. This person has throat chakra issues. Okay. You see the mouth, right? The mouth. They have problems expressing themselves, right? This person has invested so much into this connection. They're battered and bruised. They know that this connection is toxic, but they've invested so much that they're selling out this vision that their higher guidance has given them for the material world. They're selling out themselves, they're selling out their principles, they're selling out who they are becoming for the material world. And the ego. Okay? So I guess that's why I gave you that message today, because this is exactly what's happening. It's a selling out of self. Okay? It's a betrayal of self. So that's them. All right, so let's look at how they're both feeling. Okay, so how is DM feeling in this connection right now? Not necessarily related to the karmic. We'll clarify and see. We know that he's practicing patience. So the karmic has been placed in a box. and staying there because of ego, right? So he is codependent. So know that there's still some kind of toxicity that he might be engaging in. He still might be engaging in drugs. It could be addiction. Now, when we clarify, we might get a completely different message because we might get a reverse card or something like that. But this is what I'm getting right now. So he's codependent. He is dependent on the karmic for something. It could be finances. It could be validation. There could be something with public image. Whatever it is, he's codependent. Right? There could be some kind of financial enmeshment. All right. He's also jealous. We'll deconstruct these cards, guys. He's also repulsed. And he's also feeling helpless, which is, I guess, why he's practicing patience. Meanwhile, the karmic is feeling intrigued. So she, karmic, see, I'm trying. Karmic is trying to find out more information. She thinks that, DM is so mysterious and she wants to find out why. She's feeling strong. So maybe she believes that she has the upper hand. This could be the strength card. She could be holding back. She's going through the motions. So there's a kind of bored and discontent kind of thing happening here. And she's also envious. Okay, so she's envious and he's jealous. And I think we know the difference between envy and jealousy, right? Okay, so anyway, let's deconstruct these cards and see what's going on. Spirit, why did you give us codependent for the DM? Alrighty, so as much as he wants the situation to be over with, we have this Two of Cups in reverse, and as much as he knows that this is not a love connection and he wants them to part ways, they have some kind of enmeshment. I don't know if it's financial, whatever it is, but there's some kind of codependency that's happening here, and that's why he's not walking away from the situation. Now, for some of them, the relationship could be over, but they also feel stuck. It could be for quarantine, or it could be there's some other financial situation. But it looks like DM has a plan because we see him here in the Seven of Swords. Or he could be deceiving himself that maybe he can't go financially on his own. So it could be lies that he's telling himself as well. But it looks like there's some kind of tower moment that's here. All right, so let's see. Let's pull another card. Yeah, so this karmic connection is experiencing some sort of tower moment. There's been some sort of deception that's been perpetrated here. It looks like by the karmic, and it looks like the revelation of this is causing a tower moment in this connection. Yeah, and I think it's making DM realize that this is a distorted feminine. Okay. Why is DM jealous? Okay, we have the Five of Cups reverse and the Magician. All right, so this jealousy that he has here, this is something that he's trying to heal. We have the Five of Cups in reverse, and the Five of Cups in reverse is about healing something, right? So he's healing this, and he's trying to step into his power and into his magician energy and manifest not just a new beginning for himself, but step into who he really is. Because this jealousy is low vibrational, and it's really keeping him back from really vibrating at his highest. So he's done with that kind of player ways, or just operating purely on instinct and passion. He's now establishing boundaries with himself and with the people around him. He's repulsed by what? Okay, so it looks like we have a Hermit in reversed here. And we have a Page of Pentacles in reverse. What I'm getting from this is that he's repulsed by who he was. He is repulsed by his unawakened self. He's repulsed by how childish he was, and how manipulative he was, and how he wasn't standing in his power, and how weak, that's the word I heard, how weak he was operating in the past. But he's releasing all this anxiety right now. He's releasing all this pressure, and he's recognizing, you know what? That's just something that I had to go through. And then we have here helpless. Yeah, he's absolutely heartbroken over the situation as it stands right now. I think he feels stuck in this karmic situation right now. But at the same time, he wants to be fair to all involved, and he wants to find a solution to this karmic situation. But right now, he feels like nothing can be done. Okay? He feels like nothing can be done. He's not speaking up. Meanwhile, the karmic is intrigued. She's waiting. We have the Three of Wands here. She's waiting on something. What is she waiting on? On some sort of decision. Because she's also getting a higher perspective on this situation. So she might even be tapping into her own spiritual skills and trying to figure out what's happening here, because she too is unhappy. She too is unhappy. And I think she thinks that there's a third party, and she's trying to find out information about this third party. But she's feeling strong. Even though, and we get the Two of Cups reversed again. So it looks like there's some kind of breakup that's happening here, or some kind of decision to break up. And we have the Tower again. Okay, so there's some kind of Tower moment here, right? There's some kind of painful ending that has happened. So she's trying to be strong, but there's some kind of secret that was revealed. Let me see if I can find out what that secret is. Okay, it's some kind of secret about children, or some kind of secret about a soulmate connection. But there was a secret that was revealed, right? And this is changing everything. It's changing the game. It's causing a transformation of this relationship. So there's some kind of secret that was revealed, either about you, viewer that I was watching, or somebody that the karmic was seeing, or there's something here about children. It could be the paternity of a child or something like that. But there was some secret that was revealed, and it's changing everything in this situation. In the meantime, though, the karmic is going through the motions, because karmic doesn't want any drama. Right? Doesn't want any fight. Karmic is very, very defensive right now. And karmic is also hurt about a particular situation and is healing. Okay? And the karmic is envious of what? The Fool. Envious of somebody who's about to take a leap of faith. So she could be envious of them, or she could be envious of you and how free you are. You have a Nine of Wands in reverse. Yeah, she's seen the truth of the whole situation now. She's finally listening to her instincts, and she's no longer fighting for this connection. She's seeing everything clearly, and she's also seeing that this DM has no love in his heart for her. Has no love in his heart. And she's envious of that fact. So she's finally listening to her own higher guidance and is getting ready to take a leap of faith. So there is some sort of breakup that's happening here, because there was some sort of secret that was revealed. But both people are still going through the motions. They feel stuck. It could be because of quarantine. It could be. All right. All right. So let's have a look at your DM's headspace regarding the karmic. What he thinks about the karmic and the karmic connection. Where is he at? So it looks like it's either over, or both of them are thinking of it being over, but at the same time both are feeling stuck. And maybe that's the box that I was talking about. Let's see. Okay, so when he thinks about the karmic connection, he thinks about healing himself, healing the ways that he might have sabotaged himself in the past. Maybe he's also thinking about an apology or children in this mix here, but he's also thinking that this karmic, this is the distorted empress. Okay, she knows that she's no empress and she is not his counterpart. Okay, so headspace regarding the karmic. We have the Page of Swords. So this card could mean that the karmic is spying, or they could be keeping an eye on the karmic. But as how I saw intrigued on the karmic side, I think he knows that the karmic is looking on. The karmic is looking for information. Let's get some more cards. Let me pull out all the cards. So we have the Page of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy. We have the Strength card. That's Leo energy. We have the Sun in reverse, also Leo energy. And we have the Ten of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy. So what am I getting here? So there's some sort of painful ending or some sort of betrayal that happened here. Okay? And yeah, your person feels absolutely stabbed in the back. And they're not happy, right? And they might be holding back on their emotions. They might be practicing patience right now, but they're not happy. But they see the karmic as very immature, and they see the karmic as also a spy, someone who's keeping tabs on them. They also see the karmic as controlling, because we have the Strength card here, and you see she's trying to shut the lion's mouth. And they also see the karmic, and they see the karmic as strong too, exerting great influence in the situation. But they also see the karmic as a narcissist, because Leo is already the card of the narcissist, right? But when it's in reverse, right, this talks about total narcissism, and your person's recognizing, DM is recognizing that he has been with a narcissist, someone who's entitled, someone who's not happy underneath it all, and somebody who's trying to exert their power over everyone else. Okay, so he recognizing that he's dealing with someone who has deep issues, could be childhood issues, right? Deep childhood issues, an unstable childhood, and whatever childhood issues that are here, it's manifesting in the karmic stabbing DM in the back over and over and over again, right? So the enemy is thinking of ending this karmic cycle, right? So let's pull some cards. Why is this Page of Swords here, right? Yeah, okay, so I think DM is holding back, and the reason why he's holding back and practicing patience, because karmic is watching. Okay, and we have the Strength card here. I think DM is absolutely heartbroken over this whole situation, but again, trying to be strong, and perhaps this is also the vibration of the karmic as well. Heartbroken, but trying to be strong. Yeah, so this is definitely the karmic here. And this is the Queen of Cups reverse. And this karmic, this is the emotionally manipulative karmic here. So he's recognizing just how manipulative and how egotistical this karmic is. And he knows that this cycle has to end, right? So we have the Ten of Swords upright, and we have the Ten of Wands upright. So this is DM knowing that this cycle, this burdensome cycle, this painful cycle, it's time for that to come to an end. So let's look at what's happening in DM's life right now. What is happening? Spirit and Four cards. Could you tell us what's happening in DM's life right now? We have a House. Now we're going to take note of the fact that it came out reversed, but I don't read reversals in this deck. And it's a card number 20, so it looks like somebody's wide awake in this house. We have imprisonment, so somebody feels stuck. We have occupation, so somebody's working hard. And we have courtship. We'll note that it came out in reverse, but we have to clarify and see what are these messages. Spirit, why did you give us this house? Tell us what's happening in this house. What's happening in this house is the Devil reverse. So somebody is finally releasing. I said reducing. Maybe it starts at reducing. They're finally releasing some sort of addiction. Okay, they're finally releasing some sort of toxic habit. They're finally releasing some sort of negative attachment or some kind of toxicity, whether it's a partner or a situation in this house. Okay, people are saying goodbye to codependency in this house. Whatever had them bound, whatever had them chained, whatever had them tied together, they are releasing that. It could be that this house was what bound them together. Maybe they had some kind of financial investment. Maybe they bought a house together, and maybe this is what had them chained for the longest while. We have imprisonment. Spirit, what do you want to tell us? So somebody is speaking their truth, right? about how trapped they feel, right? Secrets are being revealed in this connection right now, okay? Right? Somebody is recognizing, or rather they're letting the other partner know that they are no longer in love. They don't have that tender emotion anymore, and that they feel trapped, okay? I see the Three of Wands here. So, you know, it's like people are just marking time, waiting. And as they wait, and as they mark time, and as they spend time with each other, it looks like people are getting a different perspective on the situation. And this is what's causing all these secrets to come out. But somebody's also hard at work here. We have occupation. So it could be the karmic. What's the karmic hard at work doing? Okay, now I'm really drawn to the fact that this person, this woman, she's mending something. So maybe the karmic it's hard at work trying to mend the situation, and she might be going about it doing in the distorted empress ways. So it could be using sex, using manipulation, you know, making those sort of appeals, trying to stand in her power, trying to exert control over the situation. But it looks like there's no new beginnings because the passion has died. The passion has died. Spirit, what do you want us to know with this courtship card? That is codependent. That is codependent, and that is toxic. We have the Ace of Cups in reverse. That is going nowhere. We have the Eight of Wands reverse. That there's no passion. We have the Knight of Wands reverse. But it looks like it's something stable. It could definitely be a marriage here, right? So it looks like they might be choosing to stay in their box. So even though it's toxic, it's codependent, it's unstable, and there might be lots of fights and defensiveness, people are choosing to stay in their box. But it looks like somebody's establishing a boundary here, okay? And somebody's doing some healing work. Let's get a card. What's the ultimate, right? But it looks like people aren't moving on. They're choosing to stay in their box. As difficult as this situation is, this betrayal, this pain, they're choosing to stay in their box because it looks like it's some kind of traditional kind of commitment, and it actually looks like a box, okay? So they're choosing to stay in their box, even though their higher guidance is telling them, you know what, something's got to change. But maybe that's part of the patience. I don't know. You'll know. All right, so what is keeping these people together? Because Spirit just told us that it's toxic, it's unstable, there's no passion. What's keeping them together? What is keeping them together? We have the Moon reversed. Okay, so some people aren't listening to their higher guidance. What did I say? What did I say in the beginning? Some people aren't listening to their higher guidance. So their higher guidance is trying to lead them in a particular direction, but they're not listening, not being receptive to Spirit, because all the demands of the material world and all the demands of the ego are louder than the higher guidance at this point in time. What's keeping them together? Right? They feel trapped. They're in a box. They're choosing to stay in their box because their box is safe right now. This prison is safe right now. As impoverished as it is, it's safe. They can predict this. What's keeping them together? There's some kind of financial instability that's happening here. Now, this could also point to some kind of unstable foundation. So both of them could have had unstable childhoods, and this relationship is vibrating in the energy of their childhood, so it's very familiar. But what I'm getting, there's some kind of financial loss that's happening right here. So financially it's unstable, so they have to band together just to survive. What am I getting here? What's keeping them together? We have the Dark Magician. So this could be somebody's being manipulative. It could be people aren't seeing the bigger picture, and they're not using all the tools that they have at their disposal to manifest a new beginning for themselves. Or it could be somebody's misusing their spiritual gifts, right? So this could point to witchcraft or whatever. But let me pull a card on that. I don't think that's going to be for many. Right? Yes, somebody, they're at a crossroads here. We have the Two of Wands Yeah, they're trying to figure out what do they do with this karmic. Now it could be this karmic being manipulative. Let me get another card. And my alarm went off when I said manipulative. So it could be that. So it looks like the karmic might be practicing something like might bind the DM even more firmly than magic, and that's manipulation, and that's the guilt trip, right? And you know, and because the karmic is afraid of being alone. The karmic is afraid of being alone. Okay. All right. So if this is resonating with your own situation, with your higher guidance, the intuitive hits that you've been getting, please join me in the extended. And then we're going to look at DM's heart space energy for the karmic, what the karmic thinks about DM, or rather how she feels about DM, how the karmic feels about you, viewer, what's the karmic hiding, what has DM told the karmic about you, and then we're going to get the outcome of this connection by the end of the month, and I'm going to get a card of advice, some advice from Spirit for you, okay? All right, guys, thank you so much for your likes, shares, and your dislikes. They all help the channel. And if you can go a step forward and click on any of the ads that played during this video, that would be lovely energy exchange. Thank you so much to those who have bought links on Vimeo and have joined my Patreon. Thank you guys so much for the support. All right, guys, take care. Bye. And remember, you're free to choose whatever you wish. Don't let anybody keep you in the box. All right. Bye.